Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back. Dr. Jaws here, and tonight we are meeting one of the newest shark species known to science, Leah's angel shark, Squatina leae. This species was discovered only in 2023, so just 2 years ago, which is kind of amazing to think about. On our last stream, we were talking about how sharks are discovered at a pretty interesting rate, where there's typically at least one, maybe two new species every year. Some years there may be no species. Some years there could be as many as like maybe 5 or 10. So it's really cool to meet one of these newer species. When I was a kid, first just getting interested in sharks, there was about 300 sharks in the world, and now we are about 560. I want to say it's like 550 or 560 now. So it's kind of amazing to see how many sharks have uh, been found and been discovered, and this is one of them. So I'm excited to learn about Leah's angel shark tonight, and we'll take a tour of angel sharks in general too. So this is some. There's not a lot of material on the species, but this is some photographic material on Leah's angel shark, and it's kind of cool to see. Angel sharks are a little difficult to tell apart from one another, just because overall they morphologically look very similar. But it's kind of cool to see for Leah's angel shark a couple things. So you notice in the photograph on the left, the spiracles kind of behind the eyes right here. These seem to be proportionally a bit larger, and the eyes actually seem to be proportionally kind of large as well. Some angel sharks and the ones where I live, the sand devils, they have kind of like smaller eyes relative to head size, but Leah's angel shark actually has larger eyes, which is kind of interesting. Uh, Much like the sand devil, Leah's angel shark has what appears to be simple nasal flaps. So not really, or interior nasal barbels, like not nothing really like too fancy. It seems a little bit more simple. They seem to be larger than sand devils, but still relatively simple in shape. We have a really nice view of the jaws here, and it's a great showcase of what angel shark teeth look like and angel shark jaws look like, where the jaws kind of function like a trap, where the sharks lie in wait. They're all ambush predators. They lie in wait for a fish or some kind of other prey item to swim by, and the sharks will immediately leap up and project their jaws forward, and the jaws close like a bear trap, or kind of like a classic trap, and lock tight. And it's really cool to see the teeth here, where you notice in the upper jaw the teeth are actually smaller than the ones in the lower jaw. The teeth are pretty simple in shape, where they're only one single cusp. There's no cusplets like in other sharks, but pretty nasty looking, where they recurve inward, so any kind of prey item can't really get away. Like once they're impaled by the shark teeth or the angel shark's teeth, it's really hard to get out. There's multiple functional rows of teeth, which is really cool to see as well, where it's very difficult to get out of that position if you are bit by, and if you're a little fish bit by an angel shark, it's very difficult to remove yourself. Again, it's really cool to see how the teeth in the upper jaw are proportionally smaller than the teeth in the lower jaw, where it seems like the lower jaw does most of the work as far as biting. So we have a couple clips of other angel shark species to kind of show how the jaws work, and just how these sharks behave. So this one is one of my favorites, where you can kind of see how an angel shark at first looks like this flat, squat animal, but it is actually pretty flexible, and it can, like all sharks, it can protrude its jaws outward. So this is like a really great clip of how these sharks can actually do that. So we'll slow that down and take a closer look here. So this species, this looks like the classic angel shark, Squatina. And the reason I say that is you can actually see Squatina has these pretty characteristic striations on the back. So other angel sharks usually have rosettes or spots on the body, but the classic angel shark, or the common angel shark, Squatina, has these like light stripes. So, and there's usually a lot of diving opportunities with the classic angel shark too. So, it's a pretty popular dive species in the Mediterranean, and I believe this is clips of that species. So we'll kind of rewind and play in slow motion how angel sharks in general are able to extend their jaws. So default position is shark lying, and it's really a great showcase of how these sharks are adapted. Where you can see they're very very compressed. They're very flat, very wide sharks. They look a lot like a ray in terms of the body shape, but there's a couple of ways in which they're distinct. The big thing being that for this animal, the head is not attached to the dorsal fin, or sorry, the pectoral fins. Rays have their heads attached to pectoral fins. Sharks have their heads separate from their pectoral fins, so that's a big distinguishing feature. It's really cool to see that the shark will lie in wait on the seabed and then can rapid fire extend those jaws. So this individual is just stretching right now, but it can launch those jaws forward in lightning speed to entrap a passing fish. So this is another great clip where you see that the shark on the seabed is like very flush and very well camouflaged, but then as far as its anatomy goes, it's a lot more complex an animal than you would think at first glance. You actually have a great shot at the gills right here. This is where angel shark gills are located. It's beneath these flaps, but it is truly a shark where the gills are on the side of the body and not ventrally. Rays have their gills beneath them. Sharks have their gills on the side of the body. So, and I love how this shark just resets into being kind of cute looking, very innocent looking, but it is capable of delivering a really nasty bite. We'll play this clip one more time before reading more about Leah's angel shark. Hey Howard, welcome back. Hope you're doing well, and hope you're having a good week and a good weekend. Sorry, this clip is kind of slowing down. I hope this kind of speeds back up, but I hope things are going well. I'm having a really good week actually so far. It's kind of funny. Right now this week it's American Thanksgiving week, and it's a great time of year where just things kind of slow down. No one's really doing a lot, where they typically is a good time to just kind of travel and be with family and just like just hunker down. So last weekend was like a lot of cooking and baking, and I think I'm looking forward to more of that this week. So it's good vibes. It's very good fall vibes over here. So very cold though. It is definitely cold in November down here. So, but great shot of a classic angel shark just stretching its jaws. And in terms of why it's doing this, I'm actually not sure what the purpose of this behavior is. Because the closest thing I can think of is some sharks are known to rinse out their stomachs, and it could be something like that, where maybe the shark it's kind of like a grooming thing, or maybe the shark may be irritated by something, but I'm not really sure why this individual is doing what it's doing. But it is incredible to watch because it does show you just how unique sharks are, and how I've mentioned this a couple times. I feel like on the more recent streams, because I think it's just a fascinating thing. But you could see very clearly how sharks are unique amongst animals in the sense that they don't have skulls. Their upper jaw is not at all connected by bone to the chondrocranium. I mean, like there are some cartilaginous connections, but it's not fused. I should say it's not fused at all to the chondrocranium. So what we think of as skulls for most vertebrates, just kind of where the brain is, the eyes are, the olfactory areas are, is fused to the upper jaw typically, and the lower jaw is free hanging. But in sharks, both the upper and lower jaw are disconnected, so they are able. It affords them a lot of flexibility, and sharks are able to literally launch their jaws forward in a way to kind of help facilitate prey acquisition, which is super cool. So it's very freaky to see because you start this clip with just an angel shark. Um, I'm trying to rewind, but just an angel shark flush with the seabed and looking very innocent and normal. Because this looks like kind of a lot of animals you would think of, like a good comparison, like a little frog, right? Where a frog is a vertebrate animal with a skull, where the upper jaw is fused to the brain case, the eye sockets, the nasal capsules, or the nares, and so you have this kind of like compressed shape. But sharks are so cool in the sense that, again, they're so flexible, and they don't have hard bones, and they don't have a skull, that they're able to expand and extend in these very unusual looking shapes, kind of like this. So it's such an amazing thing to see. And it's actually, this is a great snapshot of angel shark anatomy too, and part of what makes this group of sharks really unique, where when you first see them, they look a lot like rays, but a couple of the distinguishing features help in terms of really elucidating, yes, this is a true shark. And the two big ones are, one, the head is separate from the pectoral fins. Rays have the head and pectoral fins fused. Sharks have them completely separate. So you can actually see that these pectoral fins, even though they're huge, they are individual fins. They are unique fins with some articulation, and they're not at all connected to the head. They are a separate thing from the head. And then two, the gill slits, which you can see right here, and it's such a great shot. The gills are indeed on the side of the body. So the rays have their gills beneath them. All rays, including guitar fishes and sawfishes, their gills are on the underside. But sharks, they always have their gills on the side of the body. So very cool to see. And it's actually kind of cool to see with angel shark anatomy specifically, where angel sharks have this covering right here behind the head that kind of hides the gill slits. So it does cover it up, so it's kind of hard to immediately point out where the gill slits are located. But another interesting thing about angel sharks as a group is that they do have very large spiracles proportionate to other sharks. So the spiracles are on the behind the head, behind the eyes right here. It's these areas that are these are adapted to help facilitate breathing on the seafloor. When the gill slits are, pressed up against gravel, the shark still needs to breathe somehow, and it will actively pump water over its gills, and the spiracles kind of help with that. So it's just really, really cool stuff all around. So I'm going to play this clip just one more time, and then we'll move on to more angel shark facts in general. But great showcase of the jaws too, how they are very unique in shape. They're very wide, as opposed to a lot of shark jaws are kind of have that circular shape, but angel shark jaws uniquely are very, very wide, wider than they are tall. A little bit like a whale shark, even though they're completely different groups. And great showcase of like those needly teeth. So just it literally is like a swimming trap, just lying on the seafloor, waiting to bite passing prey items. I mentioned this before, but I've always been used to angel sharks being very feisty. So they don't look for trouble, but if you do stumble across an angel shark or see one while scuba diving or swimming, definitely keep your distance, because they will bite and are known to bite. They're just known to be very pugnacious, kind of like a blue crab, where blue crabs like to swim away, but if you do bother them or you do mess with them, they will absolutely pinch you. So similarly, an angel shark will absolutely bite you if you try messing with it. So in principle, it's good to leave sharks alone, but angel sharks in particular need their space. So very, very cool animal. So we'll look at a few more clips later, but let's see what we can learn about Squatina leae, Leah's angel shark. Gonna catch up in the comments. Oh, good. I've been okay doing health and family stuff. So awesome. Glad you're spending time with family, and just glad things are going okay in general. And it's a fun time of year. Correct me if I'm wrong, doesn't isn't there a Canadian? I feel like we talked about this. Isn't there a Canadian equivalent of Thanksgiving? It's like I forget the name of it, but I thought there was a. It might be just called Thanksgiving. So, hey Noah, welcome to the stream. So love this bearded dragon clit or bearded dragon uh, icon. It's really cool actually. Welcome, welcome. Glad to have you with us as we talk about one of the newest shark species ever discovered, leae's Angelshark. So, um, but anyway, and then Howard, if you don't mind me asking, I was just curious about. I thought there was a Canadian Thanksgiving. I might be getting it confused with another holiday, and I think it's before the week after. I can't remember, but please correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure there's a Canadian holiday. Like, actually, let me look that up really quick. Isn't there? There's something, right? Canadian thanks. Yeah, Canadian Thanksgiving. Okay, Thanksgiving. There's a Thanksgiving, but it's in October. Okay, so gotcha. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, there. I just saw your comment. Our Thanksgiving is October. Gotcha. I thought so. I thought there was something going on. So thank you for clarifying. So. But here is leae's Angelshark, discovered by Weigman, Vaz, Akilish, leae, and Naylor in 2023. And actually, some really cool photographs. Usually fish base is kind of hit or miss on photographs, unfortunately, but these are actually really pretty decent for a brand new species. So here we go. This looks like a smaller individual, so and actually immediately there's a couple of unique features where you have squared off pectoral fins, what appears to be quite a bit of space between the pectoral fins and the pelvic fins. And again, this looks like a pup to me, or probably like a little individual. So, oh, cool. No, thank you. That's my old bearded dragon Draco. I'm excited to see this new shark. Thank you. That's a great name, by the way. My brother had a bearded dragon named Mertz, and Mertz lived for a very long time. But he didn't really, because don't bearded dragons, can they change color? Or do they come in a variety of colors? Because I think Mertz maintained a single color for a long time, but I can't remember because it was like, I think we were like in middle school and high school, so it's been a while, but bearded dragons are really cool. So awesome. Oh, Howard did have turkey tonight. Awesome. I made what did I make? I made whiskey mushroom chicken over the weekend. My wife really enjoyed it, so it was a hit. I'm usually not that great at cooking. I'm usually more of a baking person. But what's kind of funny is that the thing that I baked was like not. It turned out fine. It wasn't like amazing. But the whiskey mushroom chicken, or chicken with whiskey mushroom sauce, bam! Like really, it was a hit. So. Oh, cool. No, there are different morphs, colors. Drake was a regular leatherback. Really cool. Really cool. I forget what Mertz was. He was kind of an orangish brown, but I really forget what variety he was. So, but really awesome. What's funny is that I love sharks and I always study sharks. I think if I was living in a universe in a horrible universe where there wasn't sharks, I probably would be studying reptiles, like herpetology. Something about it is really interesting to me. So, in particular, snakes. I actually really snakes and crocodiles. I really think that both are especially cool. But love lizards, love turtles, or the testudines, and tuataras, or tuatars. I forget how you pronounce that, but there's a special animal, which actually we're going to highlight right now. Because not many people know what these are, I feel. This is a special kind of reptile that lives in New Zealand, and it's not a lizard. It's super cool. This is a tuatara, which is kind of like its own thing, and I forget what makes it different from lizards, but it looks a lot like a lizard, but it's not a lizard. It's its own unique animal. oh, there we go. They grow very slowly, live to 100 years old, and the only survivors of an ancient group of reptiles which roamed the earth along with the dinosaurs over 200 million years ago. So, see, let's look up some tuatara pictures. Yeah, I forget what makes these not lizards, but they're really, really cool. They have a very Godzilla-like appearance, so, and actually really, really cool eyes too. It's really pretty. That's one of my favorite things about the stream is that there's all these fun side quests, fun tangents that it's fun to explore. But we'll get back to, there we go. That's a really high quality photo. Sorry, it's a beautiful eye. It's so cool. But yeah, that was worth it. That was worth the side tangent. So tuatara, only found in New Zealand. So a unique group of reptiles. I genuinely don't know what makes them different from lizards, but they are different from lizards. They're their own thing. So, but getting back to Leah's Angelshark, this is a pretty cool photo, and actually similar to the first photo that I had at the beginning of the stream. The spiracles do seem proportionally... Angelshark spiracles are larger, but relative to the size of the eye, these seem to be proportionally a bit larger than average, but I could be wrong. The head seems a little bit shorter. The most interesting feature is seeing how the pectoral fins and the pelvic fins don't really connect. They're not really flush. It's actually really cool to see that the pectoral fins are squared off, and there's almost like this contiguous. You could, if you laid like a ruler down, it's really cool to see there's a contiguous line from the tip of the pectoral fin to the tip of the pelvic fin, which is pretty amazing. So really cool geometry on the species. Very interesting looking. The lower lobe of the caudal fin is larger and not really... I guess it's somewhat significantly larger than the lobe of the upper caudal fin. Angelsharks famously are the only shark species that has the lower lobe of the caudal fin. The only shark group of sharks that has the lower lobe larger than the upper lobe. All other sharks have the upper lobe larger than the lower lobe, but angel sharks are kind of cool in that. I mean, aside from their overall radical looking shape, that's another fun subtlety about that group of sharks that makes them a little bit different. So, this looks to be a larger individual. It's verifying that I'm human, so I guess I don't really know how these work, to be honest. So verify you're human. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I guess... Oh, that's interesting. So I guess the photo takes us to the photo author's research. But we'll go back to where the photo came from, and I'll just zoom in on it this way. Here we go. So this does look to be a larger individual, and what's really fascinating is that, again, there seems to be quite a bit of space between the pectoral fins and the pelvic fins. That's unusual for angel sharks. Angel sharks usually have a flushness between the pectoral fins typically touch the pelvic fins. So usually it looks like one contiguous piece. So it's really cool to see that this angel shark, this new one, it actually looks a little bit distinct, even as far as angel sharks go. That seems to be quite a bit of separation, the pectoral and pelvic fins. Another thing that's interesting to notice, this photo is a little fuzzy, but it looks like those may be thorns or raised Conroe-Nicholls. And I wish I could see... I can't tell if those are claspers or not, but in other angel shark species, males actually have thorns on their fins, and females don't. So it's one of the few groups of sharks that actually do exemplify pretty obvious sexual dimorphism. It's kind of like the equivalent of male deer having antlers and female deer not having antlers. Angel sharks, it depends on the species, but some males in some angel shark species will have thorns and females won't, which is really cool. and it looks like this individual in particular may have thorns. So this could be a male. And it's hard to tell with the quality of this photograph. I can't tell if that's the pelvic fin kind of twisted in the wrong way, or if that is actually a male clasper. I really can't tell because it looks like the fin might be the fin that's furled the wrong way, but if that's a clasper, that kind of supports that, okay, this is a male and the males of the species have sexual dimorphism. So the eyes are really pretty. And this does look to be like a larger individual, just because it seems to be there's more development on the crest above the eyes. So this seems to be a larger individual. Long, simple nasal barbels or interior nasal flaps, which is pretty interesting. Again, fairly large spiracles relative to the eye. The head seems quite a bit compressed and a lot shorter, a little bit blunter than most other angel shark species. And this individual is deceased, but from what I can tell, the pattern looks really cool. Where I see these like light, almost yellowish markings on the back, so it looks to be like an overall potentially really beautiful looking shark. And this could be part of preservation, but the tail looks really cool, where it almost looks like a whale fluke. Where it has nice sharp curves, but this also could be specimen damage from preservation. So overall, really interesting looking shark, and definitely a very interesting angel shark as far as the angel sharks go, which are already a pretty amazing looking group. This particular individual or this particular species already has some distinctions. So I'm excited to learn more about where this species came from in terms of like when was this discovered, how was this discovered, and what makes it a new species. So let's see. Fishbase is saying that the Latin name for angel sharks is Squatina, so it's Latin word for skate, which angel sharks superficially resemble. And I think just the species name leae is just in reference to Leah, so nothing really unique there. That's also, I've mentioned this before, that's usually not advised. Quite a few scientists name things after themselves or other scientists, but that's not best practice. What's best practice is to name an animal based on distinctive features. So, for example, for the white shark, Carcharodon carcharias, the Latin name means sharp-toothed shark. So we're actually talking about features. A better one is like the humpback whale. Megaptera is its Latin name. Megaptera means huge wings, referring to the whale's very large pectoral fins. So yeah, I mean, not to call that out, I guess, because a lot of animals are named after people, but typically for future scientists, if anyone wants to discover a shark in the future, it's good to name it based on its physical features as much as you can. But let's see. A small angel shark is distinguished by the following characters. I won't read all of these, but I'll just kind of skim through these. Let's see. Absence of scute-like denticles in the trunk. So the nasal barbels, which I mentioned briefly, help distinguish this species from other species. Pectoral pelvic space, 10 to 15% of the total length, so that's kind of large as far as angel sharks go. Let's see. The pelvic fin free rear tips don't reach the level of the first dorsal fin origin. Coloration. Dorsal conspicuously bright, beige to light grayish brown, with many light yellowish flecks on trunk, and pectoral and pelvic fins with countless densely set minute dark spots, partially forming pseudo-ocelli all over the dorsal surface. So these are kind of like ocelli refer to like eye spots, like spots that kind of almost have like a ring-like shape, like eye-like shape. So pseudo-ocelli are like kind of like somewhat spotty looking, somewhat resemble eyes, but not really a lot. So what I think is really cool is that the shark has yellow coloration, which is an unusual color for sharks. So most sharks are grays or have some. I mean, pelagic sharks can have like the blues or browns. Yellow is not common, so it's really cool to meet a shark that has yellowish spots or just yellowish coloration in general. Let's see. Maturity size of male is about 65 centimeters. The largest adult female specimen is 87 centimeters. So these are all fairly small sharks. Oh, cool! Wait a minute. I think the deep starry jellyfish is named after a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure character. Oh my gosh, that's really funny, actually. I literally was quoting JoJo today to somebody where what does Jotaro say? He says Yari Yada. Wait, no, he says Yari Yard. No, Yari Yada. I can't say this. It's when he says good grief. It's like Yari Yard Desai. Yari Yard Desai. There we go. So I was quoting that to somebody today, but hello. I see. This is funny. I see at Squilvin. But Yar Desai. There we go. Yeah. Minjas, is this you? Because I see at Squilvin. Is this you and with a new name? Because it's the same icon, so I just want to make sure. But that's really funny. And if not, welcome Squilvin. I don't know. I apologize because there's a viewer named Minjas who has the exact same icon, and I just want to make sure that Minjas is MVP. So I just want to make sure that Minjas is like I want to make sure I'm not confusing, but I apologize if I am. So, but either way, welcome Squilvin. But Yar Desai, yes. It is Minjas. Okay, YouTube changed their layout. It's showing my username instead of my display name. Okay. Interesting, because I'm actually seeing... Oh, you know what? I was wondering, because I see that for Howard... yeah. I hope no one has taken my icon. I see that Howard... I see Howard's... Oh, this is interesting. Let me pull up mine, because I see that Howard's is showing his... username as well. I wonder when YouTube did that. YouTube is always doing this, where it's like, I mean, as in changing. So mine is at Dr. I guess it's the same. Mine is at Dr. Jaws Sharks, so I guess it will just always be that. So I'm glad I named it that. But anyway, random question: what is everybody's favorite? So JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is an anime that is very fun. Very dark. I mean, dark, but like over the top to the point where it's kind of silly. Like, it's like Quentin Tarantino meets Sam Raimi meets anime, kind of. It's just like there's a lot going on, but I enjoy it. It's sometimes too scary. I've had nightmares of JoJo sometimes, but my favorite season. And it's very controversial for obvious reasons, but I do like Battle Tendency because of is it Jonathan? Jonathan's the first one. Joseph is the second one, and Joseph is super fun, and the villain Cars is a lot of fun. So it's like I really enjoy Battle Tendency because of Joseph and Cars. The third season is probably the best, the Stardust Crusaders. So, and that's I would say that's my wife's favorite season too. I don't know what her favorite character is. For me, it's hard to pick a favorite character. But because that Stardust Crusaders had perfect chemistry. It's like everybody was great. Like, and I'm trying to remember, it was like Jotaro. Hold on, it's Joseph, it's Jotaro, it's Polnareff, it's who is it? Kakuyan? I can't quite say his name. But I will say this for anybody who doesn't know JoJo, that season is super fun. Where this group of characters have to travel the world from Japan through the Indo-Pacific, through the Middle East to get to Egypt to fight a vampire who's going to become like a vampire god thing. And there's like a tarot card theme running throughout. It's a very fun show. I do recommend it if anyone present or future watching is a fan of anime. It's a classic. It's super fun. So yeah, Kakyoin. Oh my gosh, Kakyoin. I can't quite say it. So I feel like I'm missing someone. I'm missing Iggy, and I promise I'll go back to Sharks. This is a fun tangent, but like Polnareff, Iggy, Kakyoin, Jojo, or sorry, Jotaro, Joseph. Who am I missing? I feel like I'm missing. Oh, is it It's the fire guy, the fire guy with the red Tranon thing, the magician's red guy. What was his name? It's Avdol? Is that his name? Okay, sorry. I clearly have to watch it again. So Abdul. Okay, there we go. Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh, and that's another thing too. And I like Howard, I think you like this a lot. All the characters are named after like rock bands. So I think there's like a Motorhead. There is a Speedwagon, or like rock bands are band names, like Motorhead, Speedwagon. What else? There's like AC/DC is a villain, like, and it's just spelled differently, but AC/DC. Oh, who else? There's a lot. Oh man, there's a lot. I'm gonna get back to the shark, but if anybody has villains, JoJo villains named after rock bands, please leave them in the comments because, like I would love to read that, and I am gonna just drop AC/DC. It's literally spelled EY whatever that mess is, but it's all the characters are based on, or most of the characters are. Dio, of course, Dio Brando. Crimson King. Dio, named after not infamous. Dio is a legend, but like Dio is named after Dio. The infamous Dio is named after Dio. Holy Diver Dio. Man, I really don't think I've ever shared this. I've never shared this stream, by the way. Because I love guitar. I've been out of practice, but I used to play a lot of guitar. To the point where I was briefly in a metal band as a guitarist, as more of a rhythm guitarist. Briefly, very, very briefly. I was in a band called the Funeral Games. And we didn't really play a lot. We were kind of forming, and I was realizing that, this is going to take away from school, from college, so it was a bad idea. But I loved a lot of music, and I went into a deep dive of a lot of kind of things in the rock metal era, like rock metal zone, either hard rock or heavy metal or new metal. So Iron Maiden is a classic, Dio, a little bit of Killswitch Engage, a little bit of Marilyn Manson's not really rock, I guess. He's kind of, I guess he is, but he's kind of his own alternative weirdness, so let's get into a lot of that. So very much loving the music, so yeah. Oh my gosh. So and then I think my taste got, I think I was just in this weird little niche of rock and roll and metal or not rock and roll, but hard rock and metal for a while. And then, this is a little bit of Arrowhead, a little bit of Misfits, a little bit of, who else? Just random stuff everywhere. Sorry, I'm going down memory lane, but we'll get back to the shark. I'll just kind of name random bands that come to be. I'm really trying to remember who I was really into. I recently got into symphonic metal, so Epica. Within Temptation, Nightwish, I'm starting to get into a little bit. It's taken me a while to kind of get into that, but like just anything that's like hard rock or metal, I'm definitely a fan of. So yeah, Metallica, of course, Jimi Hendrix. Oh, these are legends. Aerosmith, Foo Fighters. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, these are great. Yeah. Man, these just yeah. Like I remember in high school, because we were playing guitar. People cannot stop playing Wonderwall and Everlong. Those are the two songs that people would always play all the time, and they weren't they did a great job, but it's just there gets to be a point where you have to stop. And then of course like the forbidden riff is Stairway to Heaven. No one can play it. You cannot play Stairway to Heaven ever in public. It is the forbidden riff. So, but I did know how to play it. I probably can't play it now, but I did know how to play it at one point. So, but anyway. Oh, actually, here we go. So, Leah's Angelshark. So this series of photographs, this actually confirms what I was wondering. So these are class bearers. So this is a male. Oh, this is great, actually. This is an excellent series of photographs for this angel shark species. So this is that photograph that we were looking at, where we were talking about the thorny Conroe-Nicholls, which could be a secondary sexual characteristic of Leah's angel shark. And I couldn't quite tell from this angle if these are claspers or if this is just like pelvic fins folded. And fortunately, based on this angle a little bit, you can now tell, okay, these are definitely claspers. This is a mature male. This angle for sure, these are confirmed claspers. So this is a male individual, and therefore this is actually indeed likely a secondary sexual characteristic. These thorns are likely a secondary sexual characteristic that distinguish male angel sharks, male Leah's angel sharks, from female Leah's angel sharks. And the only reason I say that is sand devils, it's the same genus, same family. Sand devils do have this. So sand devil males have thorns on their fins. Sand devil females have smooth fins. So it's similar to antlers in deer, or horns in male. I forget what you call. I forget what you call. I guess deer are their own family. The order name is weird. It's like I'll look that up in a little bit. Remind me to look up the family of deer, because for something as common as a deer, they have a really weird family name, a really weird family actually. But anyway, this is also a great photograph showing where on angel sharks the gills are located. So we saw in that clip earlier that the gills are on the side of the head, but when you look at an angel shark from below, you actually clearly see a lot of things that make this completely different from a ray. So, sorry. So the big one is you do see that the head is separate from the fins. The gills are just so strange, where they're just kind of like tucked into this like pocket. They're not ventral. If this was a ray, the gills would be just like these straight lines on the belly, or straight lines under like the jaw, the fused jaw wing thing. But that's not what's going on with the angel shark. The gills are actually on the side, and they're just like tucked into this pocket. The other thing that's interesting too is that the shark has, or sharks have a mouth that is forward, whereas a lot of rays, not all rays, but a lot of rays have their mouth ventrally. So it's kind of really amazing to see that sharks have evolved in such a distinct way, and rays have evolved in such a distinct way where even though superficially an angel shark looks like a ray in a lot of ways, there are some fundamental differences, and it's kind of cool that they're very well illustrated here. For comparison, let's take a look at a ray underside. I think it's going to be very helpful. So yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. So here is a ray, and you can see that the head is fused to the fin. So it's like this single piece. Whereas angel sharks, you see a clear demarcation between the pectoral fin and the head. They are touching, they're close, but you could see this like line between them because they're separate pieces. In the ray, the gills are right here. They're on the underside. This is probably a better photograph here, where the gills are ventral, truly ventral. They're just here and located here and nowhere else in the body. They're not, moving up anywhere. Whereas with the shark, the gills are on the side. They're tucked into the pectoral fin, but they are clearly on the side of the head. And then finally, this is not a be all end all as far as, this is not a final characteristic that distinguishes rays from sharks, because there are some exceptions. But for the most part, sharks have their mouths kind of somewhat interior. So the mouths are, they're not underneath the body. They're usually forward of the body. Whereas rays, the mouth is typically ventral. Not always, but it's typically ventral. So the exceptions are manta rays, where the mouth is definitely in front of the body. But still, really cool. Really cool to see this here. So, yeah. Oh yeah. So I'm just catching up on the comments. So explains why playing Wonderwall at school, lone guitars is a meme. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Cervidae, I might be thinking too broad. We'll have to check that. I can see why people get raising angel sharks confused, only see them at a glance. 100%. I want to check that actually. So let's do white-tailed deer. You might be right, ninjas. There's a weird, you might be right. Oh, you're right. You are right. Okay, so this is what I'm thinking. Okay, you are absolutely right. So you're, and also I'm going to star that. Well done. That is excellent mammalian taxonomy. So yes, deer are the family Cervidae. So that was not what I was thinking of. This is what I was thinking of. Atriodactyla, but Atriodactyl is the name of, and I thought I got it confused where I thought this was a family, but it's actually an order of animals. So you're absolutely right. You're right that the family of deer is Cervidae, and so that includes reindeer, roe deer, moose, which are terrifying animals, like musk deer. The order that deer belong to, which is the weird thing I was thinking of, is called Atriodactyla, or Atriodactyls. And the reason why I think this is weird is like it just sounds like pterodactyls, so it's just kind of like, I'm sure it makes sense, but it always like it always threw me off, like why this is this order of animals. So this includes deer, whales. What? Wait a minute. What? Deer, bison. This took an interesting turn. Deer, bison, giraffe, warthogs, camels, and whales? I thought cetaceans... Oh, interesting. Let's find out. I thought cetaceans were their own thing. Okay, here we go. Okay, in the 1990s, biological systematics not only used morphology and fossils to classify organisms, but also molecular biology. Comparison of even-toed ungulate and cetaceans' genetic material showed the closest living relatives of whales and hippos was the paraphyletic group Atriodactyla. Dan Grauer and Desmond Higgins were among the first to come to this conclusion and included a paper published in 1994. However, they did not recognize hippopotamuses and classified the ruminants as a sister group of cetaceans. Subsequent studies established a closer relationship between hippos and cetaceans. These studies are based on casein gene, science, fibrogen, blah, blah, blah. Fossils of Pakicetus, amphiboid cetacean the size of the wolf. And so let's look at this. This is kind of like a weird whale ancestor that is closely related to whales, closely related to hippos. It is a terrestrial animal, but it does have whale-like features, and specifically the skull. This actually, it almost looks like a dolphin skull on like a terrestrial animal's body, which is kind of cool. Sorry, this is a fun little tangent. Um, Interesting. So I guess whales are uh, okay. Here we go. So say okay, I see. So evolutionarily, whales split from a group that became the atriodactyls, which are like the deer and everything, like deer and deer-like animals. But whales are actually not that far off as far as like their evolutionary tree and how they relate. And then specifically, oh no, there's this new organization or reorganization where whales are considered atriodactyls. So camels are their own thing. Pigs branch off to be their own thing. Um, Ruminants, like mouse deer and traditional deer, became their own thing. And then there's finally this group that includes the hippos and the whales. That's so interesting. Okay. So we'll get back to sharks, but that was a fun little tangent. So, um, Lovis Mingus, no mammal taxonomy is so confusing. Ambulocetus, yeah, yeah. And it's funny. It's been a while since I've seen mammalian. Actually, honestly, it's been a while since I've reviewed any kind of vertebrate taxonomy that's not fish or sharks. Like I've been focusing mostly on I mean, sharks and fish. Fish are, and what I mean by that is bony fish. Bony fish are incredibly difficult. They're so difficult, which makes sense because they're so diverse. But like, when you think about, is it 20,000 species of bony fish? It that's really difficult to keep straight, especially when I think Perciformes is the largest order, and that's basically half of bony fish, roughly, are belong to this one order, and that just makes it even more confusing. So bony fish are really confusing. I commend anybody who studies bony fish for taxonomy alone. It's just it's kind of wild to think about. There's still so much we don't know about sharks, and there's still so much to learn about sharks, and sharks are already very complex to learn. But comparatively, sharks are, I would say, in a lot of ways, easier to approach than bony fish, where sharks are less diverse. There's still a lot of them, which is great, but that's about 500 to 600 species so far compared to 20,000. So there's that. And also, life history-wise, I sometimes take for granted how different sharks and bony fish are, where sharks attain very large sizes. They grow quite slowly, mature quite slowly. Many lay eggs that are hatching into very comparatively quite large animals, or many give birth to live young, which also are very large or fully functional. So you have that. And then you have bony fish, where I take for granted the fact that sharks are the way they are because bony fish, they can lay hundreds of thousands to millions of eggs. It depends on the species, but millions of eggs that often float freely in plankton. They're often like tiny, like microscopic, and they hatch into these microscopic planktonic fishes that eventually will get large enough to swim freely and become part of the nekton and go into the niches that they've developed into. But it is really incredible how sharks and fish are just so different, and like how you approach studying sharks is completely different for how you approach studying bony fish, where you can't really like I mean their life histories are just night and day. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to think about how I take for granted, like, when you compare all animals and all life, I take for granted sometimes how large sharks are. Like, compared to anything that exists on Earth, sharks are huge animals. Even the small ones are comparatively very large animals. And sharks are, slow to grow and more comparatively they're longer lived than other animals. So it's just kind of amazing to really think about. So, yep. Oh, thank you, Mingus. Yep, 20,000. Let's find out. I want to make sure I'm right on that. I'm pretty sure it's 20,000 bunny fish. And there's this whole thing about actinop. I'm sure ichthyologists are going to get mad at me. Actinopterygy. So there's there's a lot of semantic stuff going on with bony, like the term bony fish. Oh, there you go. Okay, let's just click on bony fish. The term bony fish is not the same as a lot of their subdivisions. So I guess bony fish are osteichthyes, which makes sense. It literally means bony fish. There's a couple major groups of bony fish. And actually, oh, I lowballed it. It's 28,000 species. It's 28,000 species of bony fish. Amazing. Oh my gosh. So I used to make this mistake, and I still make this mistake sometimes, and I'm sure ichthyologists get mad at me. But sometimes I mistakenly say Actinopterygi is all bony fish, and that's actually not true. It's the major class of bony fish. This is like the major group of bony fish. All the fish that we're, you know, familiar with. Like I see angelfish, lionfish. What the heck is this doing here? What is a peacock flounder? There we go. Sea dragons, gars, pike, bass. These are our actinopterygians. So I made the mistake of saying, oh, actinopterygians are bony fish. But there's this whole other group called sarcopterygians, which are lobed fin fish, which are super cool. This is like the evolutionary. Well, it's not like an evolutionary link, but it kind of is this in between stage between bony fish and amphibians, where these animals kind of have a um, different bone structure for their fins that actually looks a little bit like. I wish they could give like a skeletal diagram. They look closer to terrestrial animal limbs. And a lot of these fish are like lungfishes or coelacanths. These are animals that are like not coelacanths, but coelacanths are sarcopterygians, but lungfishes are sarcopterygians that actually can walk on land, like moving from one puddle to another. And the way they do it is pretty cool. Where it's just the way the fins are shaped, or it's just very different. They look like little limbs as opposed to free fins. So, getting on to another tangent. But anyway, bony fishes, osteichthyes, and there's 28,000 of them. So much more than I was thinking. So, oh, cool. My late boss was in love with the evolution of bony fish into tetrapods, which was a surprise. So I worked with him to help with his fruit fly populations. Oh, that's so cool. I really love that. Like, I had one of my mentors loved sturgeon, and he would always make fun of sharks, which always bugged me. But he would do it because he was trying to kind of highlight how cool sturgeon were. And sturgeon are actually really, really cool animals. They attain huge sizes. They have these armored plating, and they're kind of like this prehistoric, magical-looking appearance. So, him in a dumb way, I feel like it's priming to probably learn about insane shark life. Aw, that's so cool. That's not dumb at all, actually. Like, I'm really grateful for those mentors who have that passion for nature and who are able to open that window a little bit in terms of just how life works. And what's kind of funny related to that is my little minor tangent of Actinopterygi versus bony fish. I remember I got a polite nudge from one of my mentors where I said Actinopterygi thinking I knew my stuff, and he nudged me. I was like, nope, that's not it. That's not what bony fish are. And taxonomy matters, systematics matters, but semantics matter. It's so interesting. So, but yeah, you're right, Minges. If anything, that shows the difference between ichthyology and shark-specific research. 100%. Yeah, it's just, I mean, there's so many. And actually, let's look at actinopterygians really quickly, because I want to look at, oh, and teleosts. I forgot about that. Okay, I'm definitely nerding out right here. This is a whole other thing. It's the largest group of ray fin fishes, and it's 96% of all fish are called teleosts. So the big thing that really annoys ichthyologists is sometimes people will mistakenly use teleosts, actinopterygii, and osteichthyes all and bony fish all in the same meaning. They interchange the terms, and it's not correct. So they get really angry about it. Which for a shark lover, I think it kind of cracks me up, but for an ichthyologist, it's no joke. So, but I wanted to take a look at. There is one giant group of bony fish I do want to take a quick look at. Is the perciforms. Man, so many. Or that's not even Percomorpha. I just want to see. There's this one order of fish called perciforms that I remember is just extremely huge, like unbelievably huge. There we go, perciforms. 10,000 species. So an order of animals is 10,000 species. By comparison, for sharks, the closest we have is Carcharodontiforms, which is still a really big order, and that's 210 species. Let's look that up, actually. So yeah, bony fish and sharks just completely different in terms of like scale and life history. They're just so different. Not Carcharodontis. It's Carcharodontiforms. Here we go. 270. So that's more than I was expecting too. 270 Carcharodontiforms. So, which is the most speciose order of sharks. Squaliforms are pretty speciose, but Carcharodontiforms are like the big one. Trying to tie it back all the way back to Angelsharks. We can look at their order, Squatiniforms. By comparison, really cool image of one of the first Angelsharks ever in terms of this is a fossil of an Angelshark, and I believe this individual is from the Jurassic period. I have to double check that, but a lot of the modern sharks evolved in the Jurassic, but it's really cool to see that this is a fossil Angelshark, and it's so similar to modern Angelsharks, where this individual was preserved in this rock, but you still see the key characteristics, where you see like the pectoral fins are separate from the head. The jaw is anterior. You see the vertebral column. You see the pelvic girdle. You see the gills on the side of the head. It's so cool to see that. But Squatiniforms, it should say how many are in here. Squatiniforms. We'll just take a look at Squatinidae or Squatina. These can be used interchangeably because they're all the same. They're referring to the same thing. There's no other kinds of angel sharks. So let's see if it's going to say how many species there are. Species analysis. Behavior. Huh. Oh, extant species. There you go. 26 kinds of angel sharks. And we can actually learn more about them. Let's see. Somewhere. I had a link open talking about the family as a whole. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So we'll take a look at angel sharks as a whole, and we'll go back to Leah's angel shark specifically in a little bit. So... so this is a group called Angelshark Conservation Network, and they fight to help conserve specifically Squatina, which is a critically endangered angel shark species. It's unfortunately like the first one named and discovered. It's our first angel shark we've ever encountered, and this lives in the Mediterranean Sea. So I will post their link in the chat if anybody wants to take a look. Angel Shark Conservation Network. The vision of the ASCN is to see angel sharks are restored to robust populations and safeguarded throughout their natural range. The ACN facilitates a collaborative approach and works in partnership to support... Okay. Sorry, this is actually moving really quickly. The ACN actively encourages individuals and organisms to deliver organizations to deliver auction. Okay, this is moving really, really quickly. Um, let's see. I'm just going to summarize it. Collaborative approach that works in partnership and support deliver Angelshark conservation. Strategic Angelshark conservation planning documents. Encourages individuals or organizations to deliver on the actions outlined in those documents. And facilitating dialogue, information sharing through providing regular updates to individuals interested in Angelshark conservation. This is cool. The following organizations work alongside a number of individuals as part of the ACN. Organizations list will be updated quarterly with additional partners and members. Zoological Society of London, Shark Trust, IUCN Shark Specialist Group. These are both really, really large and influential shark conservation groups. Membership programs. I love this photograph of young scientists releasing a baby angel shark. Very cute. Very, very cute. Showing the scale of these animals. So I'm going to zoom in on that. So large adult angel sharks actually do get to be about the size of a person, sometimes bigger. And baby angel sharks are very cute. And what's especially adorable about angel sharks is that they are actually a group of sharks that give live birth. So, and true live birth. So angel sharks do have placental viviparity. So this is actually similar to Coccarineforms, similar to Coccariinidae, like tiger sharks, requiem sharks, hammerhead sharks give live birth. Angel sharks also give live birth, similar to mammals in the sense that there's a placental connection there. So just it makes this image even more adorable, where it's like a little baby angel shark swimming free, little pup, may have been recently born. So. Why focus on angel sharks? Angel sharks are flat-bodied sharks which grow up to 2.4 meters in length. So that is about 7 feet, maybe 8. And they're normally found submerged in sandy habitats and coastal waters. Angel sharks, Squatinidae, rank as the second most threatened family of elazobranchs, sharks, skates, and rays in the world. It's probably the most threatened family of sharks. As far as threatened elazobranchs, I think there are some freshwater rays that are not doing as well. Or actually, you know what? It's probably sawfish. Sawfish are extremely threatened, and that's a kind of ray. But as far as sharks go, I wouldn't be surprised if angel sharks are described as the most threatened family of sharks. The reason being is that because they live on the seabed and it varies. Some are deep water animals, some are shallow water, but because they live on the seabed, they get caught up in these bottom trawls, which is really scary. 3 species, Squatina, the angel shark, Squatina aculeata, the sawback angel shark, and Squatina oculata, the smoothback angel shark, are found in the eastern Atlantic and Mediterranean Sea, all listed as critically endangered on the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species, and the current focus of our efforts given their threat status. Once widespread throughout coastal areas of these regions, angel sharks have suffered steep declines throughout their historic range. But there is hope. Angel sharks are still present in exciting hotspots discovered across the region, with organizations working alongside communities to better understand and protect them. Global ID Guide. There are currently 24 accepted valid species of angel shark in the family Squatinidae. Many of these species have overlapping ranges and similar morphology, meaning they can be challenging to distinguish from one another. The Shark Trust has developed a guide to angel shark identification to help improve accuracy of species identification and reporting, and therefore aid conservation efforts. So we'll zoom all the way back to the beginning. And this guide is actually really cool because it's splitting up into regions. So I'm very excited to learn about this. So here we go. Okay. So this is and can I make this? I don't know if I can make this full screen. I'm not going to make this full screen just in case I lose it. But here we go. So these are all beautiful illustrations by Mark Dando. And these are actually the famous angel shark illustrations included in Sharks of the World. So we've got a lot of cool species here. A couple that stand out to me are the hidden angel shark, Squatina oculata, just is a really cool orange black spotted pattern. The sand devil, Squatina dumeral, this is the one that lives in my backyard. It's actually here this time of year, so we do have sand devils this time of year. They have pretty wide temperature tolerance. Sand devils are sometimes known as Atlantic angel sharks, but I like calling them sand devils. This is just a fun name. We've got the sawback angel shark with different color morphs. I don't see Leah's angel shark, and only because Leah's angel shark is brand new. So, and we'll get back to that species in a bit. But I think it's good to learn more about it, its cousins. And then I see David's angel shark, which is actually a recent species in the Atlantic. So here we go. So in the Eastern Pacific, so if you live in the west coast of North or South America, you might run into the Chilean angel shark on the left, or the Pacific angel shark on the right. So Pacific angel shark is a pretty charismatic species, at least for Americans, I guess. Like this is kind of, I always grew up with this as the classic angel shark species, and I had no idea that we had an Atlantic one until later, which is really a shame because they're actually both closely related. So. But Chilean angel shark and Pacific angel shark in the Eastern Pacific. In the Western Atlantic, kind of where I am, you've got the Argentine angel shark, which is really cool. Love this like deep red color of these yellow spots. David's angel shark, which is recently discovered in the Southern Caribbean. So Squatina David has pretty large dark speckles. And I love that these come with these face profiles where it has a pretty nasty looking face actually. The Atlantic angel shark, also known as the sand devil, Squatina dumeral. I will say sand devils they're kind of variable in coloration, but they also look very plain, very simple. It's probably the most basic looking angel shark as far as there's not really distinctive markings on the species. So I feel like sand devils are a good template for angel sharks in the world, because I feel like most other angel sharks have like these really complex patterns, but it also might be because of sand devils live in a very sandy environment where there's not a lot of distinguishing features on the seabed, so it kind of makes sense that they have a plainer appearance, whereas other angel sharks might be occupying complex seafloor topography. We've got the angular angel shark, Squatina guggenheim, which is a really cool name. The small crested angel shark, Squatina apama, is very pretty delicate looking. The hidden angel shark, Squatina oculata. Vari's angel shark, which I believe is actually kind of recent, Squatina varii. And notice that all of these angel sharks, they have their pectoral fins touching their pelvic fins, but by comparison, Leah's angel shark seems to have quite a bit of space between the two. In the Eastern Atlantic and Mediterranean, this critical conservation area, we've got the smoothback angel shark on the left, and then the common angel shark on the right. This one is really, really like the poster child of the group. The poster child of the family is Squatina. And it's amazing that it actually has one of the most distinctive color patterns of all angel sharks, where it has these unique and really beautiful ripples, these striations in the back. So. I've got the African angel shark on the left and the Philippine angel shark on the right. Both really cool looking species. African angel shark has a little bit of space between the pectoral and pelvic fins. The Taiwan angel shark in the Northwest Pacific, and the Japanese angel shark. Japanese angel shark has a really cool look to it. Just kind of like, I like the pointed fins, the big head. Indonesian angel shark and clouded angel shark. These are actually similar to Leah's angel shark. They do have separation between the pectoral and pelvic fins, which is interesting. More Pacific species. We've got the ocellated angel shark and the eastern angel shark. So eastern angel shark in Australia, which is really cool. Also in Australia, we've got the Australian angel shark and the western angel shark. I'm kind of enjoying that the western angel shark looks a little bit like a sand devil. It has some. Its physical features are a little bit distinctive, and I will say now I'm seeing like these light blue spots, so that's actually really different from a sand devil. So the Australian angel shark is really really pretty coloration. And then finally the ornate angel shark, which also lives in Australia. So, I'm going to copy and paste this in the chat so people can view this later. It's super cool. Oh, I love that comment, Minjas. I just saw that in my backyard. I imagine one somehow thriving in your backyard. So what's actually kind of cool about sand devils is, and let me copy and paste this. So the sand devils can be found in shallow water or in the midnight zone. They can be anywhere in between. So thanks, Howard. Nice guy. It's really cool. So I hope you enjoy it. I'll put it in the chat so you can read it. Because I agree, it's a really cool collection. It's kind of cool seeing the whole family of sharks. In this like single collection, and I really love how they arranged regionally. So if you are in a certain part of the world, you can compare species that are most likely to show up in your waters and see what the species might be. It's actually really helpful. So it's a great effort by this group. But yeah, so sand devils can be found kind of like anywhere in the water. They could be shallow or they could be deep, and I think they do move seasonally, but they don't like undertake like huge migrations like other sharks do. They kind of shift, I want to say, but not. They don't do these like massive migrations like dogfish do. But I will say what's kind of cool is that sand devils, because they can enter into shallow water, they can kind of pop up anywhere. And I love that there are some dive videos in the east coast of the U.S. So specifically, I think there was a Delaware sighting and a Maryland sighting. And I think the Chesapeake Light Tower, I think in Virginia, I think somebody saw a sand devil there too, where like they have. Like they just kind of pop up in random places, and it's really cool. And I really hope to meet one someday. I would love to meet a sand devil. Sand devils are actually found in the Chesapeake Bay as well. But what's interesting is that most angel sharks aren't doing well in the world. Sand devils are least concerned, and sand devils don't really like. They're not really landed in. They are landed in bottom trawls, but they're not really landed in other like bycatch areas. Like commonly caught bycatch sharks are like sharp-nosed sharks and sandbar sharks and I'm trying to think of other ones, hammerheads. But sand devils like really rarely show up, so they kind of like don't interact with people that often. But they're there, and it's kind of cool when I see like photographs of them or like videos of divers kind of seeing them in the wild, because it's like they're not very charismatic compared to like the Pacific angel shark or the classic angel shark. I don't know what it is, but in the east coast of the United States, people don't really talk about them that much. But they're here, and it's one of my favorite sharks as far as like I would love to meet one in the wild someday. So we'll see. I promise I will definitely, if I do run into one, and it might be because of their camouflage too. But if I do run into one, I will absolutely share that story. So I've seen when I used to work at the Virginia Institute of Marine Science, I've seen preserved sand devils and handled a very large individual male specimen, preserved specimen. In their ichthyology collection, but unfortunately I've never seen a live one, so I would love to meet a wild sand devil someday. So getting back to Leah's angel shark, really appreciate these photographs. These helped elucidate something really cool as far as kind of their general morphology and the concept that they may be sexually dimorphic. Let's see. Distribution. They live in the western Indian Ocean on the Mascarene Plateau off southwestern India. Let's see if we can find the first description. So, okay, and this might be it. Is this gonna this? It would be this one. I want to make sure I have the right. Okay, very cool. Okay. So this is the first description of leae's angelshark. Let me make sure center it here. Here we go. Revision of the Western Indian Ocean angelsharks, genus Squatina, with description of a new species and redescription of the African angelshark Squatina africana. This is by Simon Weigman, Diego F.B. Vaz, K.V. Akilish, Ruth H. Leae, and Gavin J.P. Naylor. It's really fun to see K.V. Akilish and Gavin J.P. Naylor. These are both shark scientists that I've never met them, but like I'm very familiar with their work. They actually do a lot of work with sharks, so it's kind of cool to read a paper that they have co-authored. So here we go. Angel sharks are small to medium-sized sharks with flattened bodies that live on the seafloor. Until now, 23 valid species of angel sharks have been identified around the world, of which over half are thought to be facing a moderate to severe risk of extinction. Several juvenile angel sharks were collected by researchers working on the Mascarene Plateau, an elevated area of seabed in the Indian Ocean, in 1988 and 1989. They appeared different in coloration and body shape and structure to a species known from East Africa and Madagascar, the African angel shark. Additional angel sharks were caught off the western coast of India in 2016 and the central western Indian Ocean in 2017, including adult individuals. Information on body measurements and skeleton structure were collected, and genetic analysis was also conducted on these sharks and on the museum specimens previously identified as African angel sharks. The results indicated the specimen collected from the Mascarene Plateau and off southwestern India were a species is now new to science. It is genetically and morphologically distinct from the African angel shark, is smaller when born when fully grown, and lives in a distinctly different area. The newly described species has been named leae's angel shark. Very cool. I'm going to just take a drink of water. Sampling efforts on the Saya de Maha Bank, part of the Mascarene Plateau, Western Indian Ocean, unveiled 3 unusual small juvenile angel shark specimens that were much paler color than the only known Western Indian Ocean species, Squatina africana, described in 1908. However, it took many years before further specimens, including adults of both sexes, and tissue samples were collected. The present manuscript contains a redescription of Squatina africana based on the holotype and additional material, as well as the formal description of the new species of Squatina. All specimens of the new species, hereafter referred to as Squatina leae, were collected in the western Indian Ocean off southwestern India and on the Mascarene Plateau at depths of 100 to 500 meters. The new species differs from Squatina africana in a number of characteristics, including its coloration when fresh, smaller size at birth, size at maturity, and adult size, genetic composition, and distribution. Taxonomic characteristics include differences in the morphology of the pectoral skeleton and posterior nasal flap, dentical arrangement or morphology, vertebral counts, trunk width, pectoral pelvic space, and clasper size. A key to the species of Squatina in the Indian Ocean is provided. So it's really cool to see this graphical abstract. So this looks like a phylogenetic tree of the angel sharks. So here is leae's angel shark right here, described as Squatina species novae. Make sure, yeah, that is leae's angel shark. So I want to point out some of the other angel sharks that I can recognize. So there's the sand devil right here. Right here is the sand devil, Squatina demeral, which is the one that I'm talking about that lives offshore of the Virginian marine ecoregion. And here's Squatina californica, the Pacific angel shark. On this phylogenetic tree, it's really cool to see that these two species are actually pretty closely related, even though they live on opposite sides of North America. And it's especially cool to see that they are actually closely related to Squatina David too, which is that angel shark that I mentioned lived in the Caribbean. So I think it was last stream we were talking about that the Caribbean Sea and the Eastern Pacific Ocean were connected at one point, and then when Panama rose because the sea levels fell with the Ice Age, Panama became this critically important barrier between the Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean, and it influenced the evolution of all life on either side of the barrier. And what's really cool about it is that even so, there's still like an evolutionary link between animals on the west and east coast of Panama, or Central America, where because the seas were connected, they because the seas were connected at one point, there are some commonalities between the Atlantic and Pacific species, like the Caribbean and Pacific species, kind of related to how that part of the world just formed. So it's really cool to see on that note that the sand devil, also known as Atlantic angel shark, and the Pacific angel shark, and David's angel shark, they occupy a similar range geographically, and phylogenetically are actually closely related here. So it's super cool to see that. As far as looking at angel sharks go, looks like Squatina Vari's angel shark, is off on one end, and the sand devil's off of the other. So these are the most distantly related. Here I could see that Leah's angel shark is closely related to the African angel shark, and they're kind of their own thing. The classic angel shark, Squatina, is closely related to Squatina aculeata. In this branch of angel sharks here. And then I'm not as familiar. I think these are the Australian angel sharks in this corner right here, because I see Squatina australis, avipunctata. Really cool family tree. So really cool. Actually, and I'll post this in the chat. This is a really cool chart. Make sure I got this right. Just make sure I didn't get rid of that. Yeah, okay. Really cool chart of that's awesome. Thanks, Noah. Bro, that's a sick looking tree. Really appreciate that. That was awesome. Like I love phylogenetic trees. It sounds like you do too. And like high five, because like they're awesome. It's really cool to see how different animals evolve, and especially with sharks. It's cool to kind of piece together their evolutionary history. So, yeah, of course, you're welcome. I'm glad. Like honestly, it's kind of funny because I think when we first started the stream. Not this stream, but like just this whole series in general, we were talking about how there's like so much junk on the internet, and it's such a really cool delight to be able to pull together information and share it so easily. That's like valuable information, and that's like really cool information, like just actual science. Like for all the crap that's online and everything. There's such a treasure trove of like knowledge, like here, and it's that's something I am grateful for, because I remember even when I was at university in like the 2010s, and that's not that long ago, right? Like there still was not a lot of information sharing. There's still like barriers to really getting information, as far as like it was just kind of hard to pull like articles and like not hard, but like there's a lot more obstacles to like pulling articles and maps and graphics and guides and stuff, and it was just kind of hard to like find a way, like a direction, right, as far as like where do you even begin. And I really do feel like a lot of those barriers came down as we continued through the 10s and definitely into the 20s, where I just feel like things are a lot more organized, and there's just like a lot more accessibility, which I really appreciate. I mean, when you look at GIS and maps, it's just like so cool to see how much there is, like as far as like bathymetry maps or like ecoregions and how easy that is to access. So happy to share, and I'm just really grateful to be able to share. It's just so cool that it's all here, and. And I will say a part of it is like there's just so much distracting crap, like just so much like clickbait crap, that I think it's unfortunate that it distracts from the fact that like the internet still is this like magical place that has like incredible libraries of information. And I guess my last little comment is it's so cool that a lot of shark science is actually publicly available, wherein people can just access it and find it, and you don't have to. You don't have to be in a paywall or like you don't have to have a JSTOR login. Not to call it JSTOR. JSTOR is fine, but like you don't have to have a login to get that information. You can just grab it. So it's so cool. I really really appreciate that. So we won't read the entire article, but we will kind of skim through, and I'll just kind of make comments as I read. And also, please let me know a shark you want to cover next week. I have some ideas. I think Mingus and I talked about a few ideas last week, but let me know in the comments if anybody has a particular species you'd like to review. Be happy to cover it. So. Yeah, so really good point, Minjas. So real and then sadly 2023 AI came in the mix and made it hard once again. So yes, there's something interesting related to that. So I fortunately, fingers crossed, as far as actual science, like research and papers, I am very, very happy to say I have not seen anything weird as far as AI goes. Thank goodness. And that would be kind of hard for AI to fake anyway, because it's like, what's the point? Like why would you be a computer faking a study for, just very very niche, nuanced information on sharks? Is just kind of like it's just there's no real incentive to do it, and I've not seen anything weird, thank God. Like it's just so nice to know that and see that so far. I will say I have seen a lot of AI weirdness relating to marine videos, and that's really upsetting. Now, the fortunate thing is these are all charismatic species. So the biggest culprit, understandably, is the great white or the megalodon, which is extinct. But I have seen weird stuff that is not real, and it's just kind of really frustrating that it's really frustrating that there's like a lot of there's videos popping up of just weird encounters with white sharks that they're not real. Something looks wrong, something feels wrong. It's just not correct, and sometimes it's really subtle, which is really creepy. I think the creepiest video I've ever seen was it's just this clickbaity crap of an orca whale, like too many orca whales with too many white sharks with like a polar bear, and it just didn't make any sense ecologically. It's like, yeah, I don't understand why this is happening. And the tell for that video was how the water was moving, where the waves were going up the side of a boat in a way that is just not natural, and it was a creepy thing. I really hate watching it, or hated watching it because it was just so weird and so fake. And like I feel like we're still in this era of like you can kind of tell if it's fake. Like there's that gut feeling of like, yeah, that's just weird looking, and it's just, why are you filming that? I don't know. So you can still kind of tell the difference between like real dive videos and fake videos. And I will say I appreciate that. As sometimes, I don't want to say annoyingly charismatic, but like as charismatic as the white shark is, and people can critique that, there is fortunately a lot of real coverage on that species from legitimate programs, and that's always going to be there. Like, I mean, there's been white shark documentaries from the 80s and 90s onward, so at least there's that coverage, and like you don't have to watch any new stuff per se. But anyway, that was a really long-winded tangent of saying that I fortunately have never seen any AI crap relating to science, and I'm very happy. Like research articles and stuff, I'm really really happy to see that. But I have seen it affect some videos. So when you look for like the if you look at the scientific names of sharks on YouTube, and if you look up like lesser known species, you're fine, because there's such a unique little niche that they're not really affected, and there's not really a incentive to be for them to be affected. But if you look up larger species, it's like or more charismatic species. Actually, yeah, let's see if we can do an experiment. Honestly, so um, let's see. Sorry, the comments are great. Let me catch up on these. So it really is hard for AI to fake. The issues are uneducated. The issue is uneducated. I hate to use that word. Sorry. People in certain subjects will take AI written papers as pure fact because they just haven't learned better. That's true. That's true. And it's okay to say that, because I mean that's true. And that's actually, it's kind of like a interesting morality tale where it's like AI can be great in a lot of ways, but you really should learn things yourself so that you understand them, because it's going to help you orient in the world in terms of like what is true, what is not, like what do you know, and what do you like what do you know is like deceitful. It's so interesting. So um yeah, but for someone who only knows Shark Week stuff, it probably seems real enough for them to believe. Oh no, Howard, how about those pesky bush? Oh my gosh, no, that'd be horrible. I've not seen that yet. I really hope I don't see that. And it's hard in a way as a young student trying to get into marine bio, where I'm still lower in information and not experienced on dives and behaviors, but something's obviously wrong with something. So actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, Noah. Because like let me share a few things that are a really good starting point. And actually, this is a really good starting point. Here we go. Uh, Florida Museum. Oh. Sorry. Florida Museum of Natural History. Let's do. Okay. Okay. So this is a great place to get started. So this is the Florida Museum of Natural History, and it's a great little beginning of like this website does not have every shark, but it does have a lot of shark species, especially sharks that live in the like they actually do have pretty good coverage, because it's not just the east and west coast of the United States. It's actually they do pretty good, or pretty well with a lot of dive related species. So this is a really good resource to get started with, because they will go into the basic information on sharks, and a really good entry like introductory view on key things to know about sharks. So when you read papers, articles, or go into like field guides, it's going to mention a lot of the same information. So like the classification of the animal, common names, importance as far as like how is this shark used in fisheries or tourism, danger, which is kind of ridiculous because most sharks are pretty harmless, conservation, which is very important. Of course, my pleasure. I'm happy to share information always. Like very very happy to, because it's like Howard said, we have to remain vigilant, and it is critically important. So this is a really, and it like it's disorienting, like where to start as far as sharks go. So this is a really good first resource. And then for conservation, and I should have done this for Leah's Angelshark. And I'll just share these two resources for now, because these are really good starting points. This is the IUCN Red List of the Conservation of Nature. So this is the world's foremost respected body of or authority, I should say. It's the world's foremost respected authority on assessing whether or not an animal is endangered. So I would say there's two. Okay, how do I say this? A lot of conservation, um, kind of originated in the United, or a lot of modern conservation ideas. They did originate in the United States, specifically with Teddy Roosevelt of all people, which is really funny. Actually, it's not that funny, but like Teddy Roosevelt was passionate about nature, established the national park system, and in that era of like the early 1900s, there was also the beginning of the Endangered Species Act, which was classifying species from around the world that warranted conservation. You had Rachel Carson in the 1950s, who was kind of the spearhead of the environmental movement. So originally, when we talk about endangered species, originally the United States in the mid 20th century was kind of like the beginning of that sort of idea. But I would say this organization, the IUCN, it's global, and it's, I would say, eclipsed the United States as far as like the authority, especially since Endangered Species Act it's still respected, but there's been just a lot of back and forth. I feel like recently there's some weird stuff going on with the Endangered Species Act where they were reclassifying the threatened category and reassessing what you can do. So I prefer to use the IUCN because it's international, and kind of like the United Nations. There's an advantage of being an international body, wherein it's not law. You're not beholden to government, and with that, you have the freedom to kind of make an accurate assessment and an assessment that is not political, which is great. So it's really great and it's not perfect, and I've had colleagues in the field critique IUCN and say it is political in its own way, but that's a whole other thing. But I absolutely love the IUCN Red List, as far as like this I highly recommend, and I went on a huge tangent, but this I highly recommend as a great starting point to really see, okay, what is an endangered species? What is an animal that needs our help? And it's interesting to see those discrepancies where on the IUCN, scalloped hammerhead sharks are classified as critically endangered. In the United States, they're kind of like, they're fine, which is not 100% true. So it's like, there's variances. So I definitely recommend looking at this first. This is a really good first starting point. So I would love to, I already pasted it. I would really love to. I really should get back to. I had people on the stream and having conversations and like doing streams together. So I've been so busy this past year, just like with fun personal life stuff. But I think it would be super fun to talk with somebody and have a live stream with somebody about the IUCN as far as how accurate and inaccurate are they, the good and the bad, like the pros and the cons. It's a body that I absolutely respect, and I think they do a great job. And the IUCN Shark Specialist Group is like probably one of the world's leading authorities on shark conservation. So, but anyway, that's enough like rambling from me. But I highly recommend it. So, Florida Museum of Natural History and the IUCN Red List are two really great starting points for just kind of learning about shark conservation, shark biology, and marine biology in general. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Thank you, Midges. Dr. Jaws collab. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, I gotta reach out to some folks, because, like, those were super fun. I was, because we've had two really cool scientists on. So I would love to do that again. So maybe I'll get something cooking. But here's Leah's Angelshark. So it's actually really cool that this species was discovered in 2023, and it actually was added to the IUCN Red List in 2024. So that's actually a really good turnaround. It currently is listed as data deficient, which totally fine. What's kind of fun is that when I first started checking the IUCN Red List for sharks, the sand devil was data deficient, and then in their latest update, it moved to least concern, which is really cool. So we'll probably have an assessment for Leah's Angelshark at some point. This is where the species is discovered, so it's this area right here. So kind of between India and Madagascar. We probably won't have a lot of info, but let's see the assessment information detail. So Leah's Angelshark is a small and poorly known angelshark currently known from a disjunct range that is the Mascarene Plateau and off of Lakshadweep, southwestern India, in the western Indian Ocean. It is unclear if the species also occurs along the northeast African coast and in the Gulf of Aden, off Socotra Islands, off Seychelles, and off Mauritius, or if the angelshark in that range is its congenitor, the African angelshark. The species is demersal on insular shells and slopes and is currently known from depths of 100 to 500 meters. It is known to be caught in demersal trawl and gill nets and is retained. The fishing pressure is intense and mostly unregulated in southwest India, and while fishing activity is likely to be less intense on the Mascarene Plateau, the level of pressure is unknown on the plateau. Little is known about the life history of this species, but the populations of other angelsharks globally have declined when exposed to intense and unregulated fishing pressures. Due to lack of clarity on the species' range, it is unknown if fishing is causing a population reduction, and there is certainly inadequate information to assess Leah's angelshark beyond data deficient. So very fair assessment, and I appreciate that they bring up that other angelsharks do really poorly in the face of fishing pressure. But I also know that some angelsharks are relatively okay because the sand devil is relatively okay. So one interesting thing related to that earlier comment I made about the IUCN Red List versus the American Endangered Species Act, there's an interesting flip side, because the original comment I had was a little bit harsh on the American Endangered Species Act, but sand devils are interesting where on the IUCN Red List they're listed as least concern, but in the United States they're actually treated like prohibited species where you can't fish for them. And the reason being is that sand devil, and I forget if the prohibition is part of the Endangered Species Act or if that is actually related to just American fishing guides, but and their own governing authority. But what's interesting is that the reason why sand devils are treated as prohibited is because it is known that other angelsharks are critically endangered throughout the world. So the approach in the United States is to just be precautionary and treat them as just hands off. You can't fish for sand devils, which is so cool. It's one of the moments where it's like, oh wow, a preventative approach. I'm pleasantly shocked that we're doing that. That's great. Let's do more of that. So that was actually that's a cool little win. And I love hearing stories like that where there have been moments like that. I keep talking about striped bass, but striped bass is a great example of an animal that fisheries effort fisheries science effort helped rebuild that population. Related, the spiny dogfish, Squalus acanthius, it actually crashed in the United States in the 1990s, and the population was rebuilt because of fisheries management and fishery science, where we realized, oh my gosh, we're overfishing this species. It has a really terrible life history. It grows way too slowly, reproduces way too slowly, and we are overfishing it. The reason why there was such a fishing effort in the 90s, aside from just crappy pharmaceutical bunk science, was there's a high demand for spiny dogfish in Europe for fish and chips. A lot of actually European fish and chips is shark, unfortunately. It's not actual fish. It was sharks. It's specifically spiny dogfish. So a lot of American fisheries fish spiny dogfish and crash a population, and our American fisheries I don't know if it was technically the National Marine Fisheries Service, but like American fisheries scientists work together with you know the fishing industry and like or not the fishing industry, but work together to help inform the fishing industry. You can't really touch spiny dogfish anymore, and it helped rebuild the population. It's not in a great place, but it's definitely in a much better place than it was. So that was a stock that was built back up through very diligent and pretty stringent management effort. So it's actually really cool that there are success stories like that, and it can happen. You can bring animals back. You can take the right approach. I feel like we often hear about the moments we don't do that, but it's nice to really celebrate the times we do that. Mingus, wasn't there a similar issue with the Pacific octopus? I'm not sure, actually. Let's see if we can pull that up. I guess I already have Wikipedia, so let's see if we can pull that up. Because I would love to read that. Pacific octopus. These are really cool, by the way. They get huge. Let's see. Ecology, predators, movement patterns, shelter, lifespan, reproduction, intelligence, conservation. Here we go. Giant Pacific octopuses are not currently under the protection of CITES or evaluated in the IUCN Red List. That's interesting that they don't have evaluation. DNA techniques have assisted genetic and phylogenetic analysis of the species' evolutionary past. Following the DNA analysis, the giant Pacific octopus may actually prove to be 3 subspecies, 1 in Japan, 1 in Alaska, and a 3rd in Puget Sound. In Puget Sound, the Washington Fish and Wildlife Commission adopted rules for protecting the harvest of giant Pacific octopuses at 7 sites after illegal harvest caused a public outcry. Populations in Puget Sound are not considered threatened. Regardless of these data gaps and abundance estimates, future climate change scenarios may affect these organisms in different ways. Climate change is complex, with periodic biotic and abiotic changes to multiple processes, including oxygen limitation, reproduction, ocean acidification toxins, effects on eutrophic levels, and RNA editing. Oh, yeah. Minja, sorry, I just saw your comment. Good on them, because now 30 years later, I'm now learning that fish and chips used to be largely dogfish. I honestly did not know that for the longest time. And what's hard, too, is that sometimes people will intentionally mislabel sharks as something else. So I think I've heard of sharks sometimes be called blackfish, which is interesting because that's also sometimes a term applied to whales, which is like orca whales specifically, or sometimes known as blackfish. Not for consumption, but just orca whales are just sometimes called blackfish. But if you ever see something called blackfish on the menu, it probably is a shark. There's another weird term for sharks, like in the supermarket, or oh man, what is it? It's like if there's a fish that you have no idea what it is, it's like I think flake is the term, but I could be wrong. Like if there's a fish where you don't know what the heck it is, like rock flake or rock cod or something like really weird sounding, it's probably a shark that is just given a different name. So so it's interesting stuff. So. I mean that they weren't in any danger, but was once put under protection due to something only slightly related to them. Might be wrong. I think you're right. This is what I was thinking of, because I was thinking of only the public outcry part. So you are right, and I'm really glad you brought that up, actually. So that's a great example of kind of more of like it sounds like that was more of a grassroots movement, where and I kind of get the impression that coastal Washington is a little bit more in tune with environmentalism, which I really like. I really, really appreciate that. It's really cool to see that there was an effort that, even though the species was not listed on IUCN Red List at all, there was a local effort saying like, hey, we want to protect this animal, and they did that. So it's a really good example, Minja, so thank you for sharing. So oh, yes. No, I personally hate the naming of ghost sharks because they're not sharks. Thank you, and I completely agree. It's a cool term, but I love that because I completely agree with you. Like the one that used to get me and that has really fallen out of style, which I'm very happy about, is flat sharks, and that was a term that was applied very briefly to the rays. I want to say the late 2010s is when there was like this weird scientific effort, or so there's this weird conversation going on in shark science world where it was like they were talking about how rays are they're talking about rays like they're hyper modified shark, and like they are technically sort of, maybe, kind of, I don't know, you can make that argument, just like you can make the argument that birds are hyper modified dinosaurs, and they are. I mean, actually, no, that's actually not true. Hold on. The bird thing is true. Hold on. No, sorry, I'm getting on a tangent. So birds are hyper modified dinosaurs because they did evolve from that same root in the evolutionary tree. But rays broke off from sharks. I mean, I guess you can technically make an argument that rays are technically sort of, maybe, kind of all sharks, I guess. I don't know, but I really always hated that because rays are just so distinct and so different that they really are their own thing, and they deserve to be called rays. They deserve to be called the batoids because they're just too different, and they're their own thing. They're not sharks. They're rays. Why call them sharks? They don't need to be called sharks to be cool. Like, so. But anyway, there was this weird effort, I would say, in the late 2010s where some scientists were talking about like the flat sharks or the pancake sharks. So I'm like, no, stop, please stop. No, they're rays. They're different. They're their own thing. Let rays be rays. So anyway, so similarly, yes, I agree about chimeras. Plus, chimeras are super cool. Like, just call it chimeras. Ghost sharks is a term applied for chimeras, but like chimeras is such an awesome word for a very unique group of fish. Like, I mean, like chimeras are legendary Greek monsters, and what a fun way to describe a really unusual set of deep water animals that are just like, they're not sharks, they're not bony fish, they're really their own mysterious thing. So I really like that. You don't need to be called a shark to be cool. You could be a ray or a chimera. So yeah. So oh, I'm just I would have been 12 at the time, but I remember the discussion. Rays and other cartilaginous fish, are they even still that are all specialized sharks? Yeah, and it always just like oh, I love that time to rewatch your Ghost Shark special episode. um, yeah, it just always bothered me because it's like where does it end? Because it's like you can say that I'm a hyper modified shrew, I guess. Like where does it end? Like you could say that turtles are hyper modified frogs. Like it just gets annoying. It's like just let them be their own thing. Let them be. A ray is a ray. Rays are cool. They're really cool in their own way. They're just like, they're like these billowing, graceful, cool animals. Like there should be a Dr. Ray or a Professor Ray or whoever makes Ray stuff. Just I don't know. They're their own thing. So, but it's almost 11, so I'm just going to briefly scan through this article. As far as the species for next week, I'm going to type in a suggestion. Yeah, let's do this. Because I was shocked that we didn't do this. But the small-tooth sand tiger, Odontaspis... I think I spelled that right. Ferox. I was shocked that we didn't do this because we actually only have 2 lambda-forms left. It's this species and then the pelagic thresher. But I think the small-tooth sand tiger would be really cool. So yeah, because it's the second to last lambda-form we'd ever do unless they discover a new one. But they're really cool. They are a very unique looking sand tiger shark where sand tiger sharks are so charismatic and so classic that it's kind of cool to see a different version of it. We talked about big eye sand tigers, which are the extreme, scary, deep water versions. But the small tooth sand tiger, I think, is going to be kind of like fun because it's kind of like a mid water version. It's a Twilight Zone version of the tiger shark or sand tiger shark. So, we could actually do a back to back. So, because I see agreement on the small tooth sand tiger, I see Noah's comment on thresher. So what we can do is we could do the small tooth sand tiger next week, and then the ultimate one, the thresher, the pelagic thresher, could be the week after that. So we'll do kind of like a 1-2 punch. So next week will be small tooth sand tiger, and then the week after is the pelagic thresher. So I think it's a good plan, and we will knock the lambda forms out in 2025, which is so cool that we've covered every known lambda form, and there might be more. So they may not be done yet if we discover new species. So. But I'm going to just skim through this. I just want to see if there's anything kind of cool, anything we may have missed, such as this. So confirmed for the leae's Angelshark. These are pectoral fin thorns. So for males, that's actually really cool to see that. So nice up-close image of the thorns on the pectoral fin for the species. Let's see. Nice close-up here of the jaws. Angelshark faces are really cute, by the way, because they do have very enlarged nostrils, so kind of gives it a little bit of a whimsical appearance, except for the trap-like mouth. Here are the large nasal barbels, which do help distinguish this Angelshark from other species. You can kind of see the eye socket here a little bit. It's a little bit flush, but cool thing about angel sharks before we leave. All angel sharks actually have this, so they actually have a caudal keel, and this helps them swim. So this kind of helps them slice through the water. So a couple of sharks have a caudal keel, like dogfish have them, poor beagles have them, mako sharks have them, but it's kind of cool to see that angel sharks have a caudal keel too. Let's see if there's anything else. Nice map of where the species got discovered. More preserved specimens. That's actually a really cool shot of the lower jaw. That's actually extremely cool. Let's see if I can get a better view of that. There we go. Okay. I wanted to get a good shot of this because this is a great example of an angel shark's jaws, where the upper teeth are smaller, but the lower teeth are quite a lot larger. It's actually really cool to see that the lower teeth are twice the size of the upper teeth. And most angel sharks have that kind of feature where, and I think it's related to if the shark lunges forward to grab prey. The long, sharp lower teeth kind of help keep prey in place, and the upper teeth help process prey. So it's super cool to see that. Nice up close photo of that. Let's see. Anything else related to this species? Really cool article. I will post this in the chat. I mean, it's more... Oh, okay. I think this is a great way to end. Okay. So that's really cool. I've never seen this before. So great way to end. We're definitely going to end it here. But great way to end where you see in detail kind of the mechanics of an angel shark jaw. Now, again, sharks do not have a skull. The chondrocranium, which is like this dark orange piece right here, is not connected to the upper jaw. So you can actually see these two patches, these muscles here. These do help keep the jaw suspended in place, but it's not. It's kind of like a battering ram in a way, where it's like this. Like you have the chondrocranium, you have this muscle that's kind of like a swing, and then you have the upper jaw and lower jaw being able to be thrown forward to bite prey. It's so cool to see this because you also have this great visualization of the enlarged dermal denticles. So angel sharks actually do have thorns on the top of their head, and especially over their eyes, like these like really cool bony crests. So they give them like a very prehistoric, like dinosaur-like look, which is so cool. And then it's amazing to see this cross section where you can see the jaws here with these recurving teeth, and just how the jaw functions. Where it's actually a pretty strong jaw too, pretty massive. Where the shark can just like launch it forward, grab its prey item, and chuck it back into its throat. It's so cool. So I'm really glad that we actually got to see this kind of side profile, seeing proportionally how large the mouth is related to the chondrocranium, just how shark anatomy works, where the jaws are just separate. They're a separate piece from the head, so they're connected by this little arch here does connect, and there's a couple different muscles and processes that help connect the two pieces, but they're not fused. So it's so cool. So yeah. Yes, those are some. Yeah, I love the comments. This is so great. Yes, so and you're right. They are very thick dermal denticles on the head. So it is something kind of distinctive about angel sharks. So it's not. They're one of my. I mean, I love all sharks, but angel sharks are some of my absolute favorites because they're. I mean, all of them are my absolute favorites, but angel sharks are. I'm just gonna say semantically, they're my absolute. They're some of my absolute favorites because they have a lot of obvious distinctive features. Like they're flat. They have the big mouths, but they also have these like really cool subtle features, like the lower lobe of the caudal fin is longer than the upper lobe, which is unusual. They have these really cool thorns on the head, which is like distinctive. Like not a lot of other sharks have that. Few do. I can't even think of maybe horn sharks, but not really. So it's a really unique group in both obvious ways and subtle ways. So yeah. Oh. I love this comment. Definitely prehistoric looking. Just makes me happy to live in the same world as an animal that's cool. Oh, I love that comment. Thank you, Minjas. Well, it's a little past 11, so I think it's a great note to end on. Super cool graphic on Leah's Angel Shark. I'm actually really happy. This might be the thumbnail for the stream, honestly, because it's just so cool looking and so shocking. But I'm really happy that we got to see this and learn more about this species. But thank you guys so much for watching. This was a particularly fun stream and covered a lot of cool ground with this new shark species and just about marine biology in general. But I'm excited for next week and the week after for the lambda-forms. Until then, I hope you all have a great week. And regardless of where you are, I extend American Thanksgiving to you. It's fun vibes, good food. Just hope you all have a nice, good week. Stay warm and just get some good food and just enjoy yourselves. But take care, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you so much for watching. I'm excited next week for the small tooth sand tiger. See you soon. Bye.